Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in.
She has a wonderful personality. She really does.
You are listening to Talking with Gloria.
Let's take a walk on the wild side.
With your host, Gloria Ponziano.
Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to Talking with Gloria. I am your host, Gloria Ponziano, and joining me today in the studio is pro wrestler Steve Chamberland. Hi, Steve.
How are you, Gloria?
I'm fantastic. We are on Talk WAD Network. I'm telling you, this is the future of talk radio, Talk WAD Radio. I love it.
It's
Steve.
awesome. So what's up?
I am so excited. I've been waiting a long time to get you in the studio, even though I'm new to Talk WAD. But for our listeners that don't know anything about you, I only told them that you were a pro wrestler. So there's a little bit more to your story than just pro wrestling. And we're going to be talking, all my listeners know that the month of December is all about charities. Mm-hmm. And you have an incredible organization called 50 Legs.
Yeah, great.
.org. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, before I get into that, let's talk a little bit about you prior to the accident that changed your entire life. And
the good, the bad, and the ugly?
That's right.
Are we going deeper?
Give it to me. Give it all to me. I want it all. We want to hear the whole scoop.
All right. So prior to losing my leg, I was a great athlete. I mean, I'm not, I played semi-pro football for years. I played ice hockey, baseball, everything. And then back in 99, on my way to Killer Kowalski's in Malden, Mass, truck went through a stop sign. I kicked my leg out to protect myself, so I was thinking. And my leg got stuck in the radiator, and it got ripped right off at the scene. I tried to get up to go after the guy. I was cussing him upside down, just like, I'm going to get you, just saying bad things. And I look over, and I see my leg hanging from the grill. And I literally was like a quarter of a mile. I was turning like 15 feet. I was taking the left 15 feet from there. And I was literally a quarter mile from the house that I was going to, my buddy's house.
Pure adrenaline.
It was just, I just remembered everything. I remember looking up, seeing my leg, and and I just remember everything. I remember taking my belt off, my buddy tying my tourniquet. Like a tourniquet for me. He saved my life, and then I got lifeline to Mass General in Boston, and I remember that flight. The guy was the coolest helicopter. The guy in the helicopter was unbelievable. He kept saying, "Hey, buddy," he goes, "We got your leg over here in a cooler. It's no 6-pack, but technology will have you up and running in no time." And not knowing about prosthetics at the time, because you see people with fake legs growing up, you're like, oh, I hope that don't happen to me. I don't, you don't know,
You don't think.
You never would think, you don't think. Nobody thinks, why me? Nobody, especially at my age. I was 29 when this happened. I didn't think, hopefully I go down the road on my Harley and get hit by a truck. It's not. You don't even think about getting in an accident. If you do, you think, oh, you're gonna get road rash. You don't think that what happens like this. But,
yeah.
All right. I was doing the bad, like I told you before, I was just a bad egg then too. I mean, a lot of bad things. And I believe in karma, and I believe that, I thank God daily for me losing my leg. It changed me to be a good person,
Right.
And
so you feel like prior to the accident, you were really heading the wrong way?
Oh, 100%. I was on the devil's team, I was just, it wasn't good. It wasn't healthy. My mom used to always tell me, you won't live till you're 30. And she was close.
She was almost right.
She was almost right, So you look at that stuff and you're like, that ain't going to happen to me. You think you're Billy Badass, which everybody, you go through that. And I went through it for a long time. And I'm thankful I lost my leg. I know it sounds weird to say. I do all these interviews.
Well,
and I tell the same people.
Before you say that, I'm sure that you've done 1,000 interviews, but we're just going to pretend like that the listeners that are tuning in today know nothing about this. So here you are in the hospital, okay, and the realization of your leg being gone has hit you.
Yeah.
What's going through your head?
Well, when you're in the hospital, when I was in the hospital, you don't, you're not thinking, I didn't know anything about prosthetics. I didn't even know when my leg wasn't going to be back on, because I was so under the weather for like a good week. I didn't even know what was happening. Okay. I had people come to visit me, and I don't remember seeing them,
Yeah.
A year later, I see them like, oh, remember me at the hospital? I'm like, no, because you're on so many pain pills and whatever they keep you on, it just, So you don't know. And not knowing, you know, when I come out of the hospital, then you're reaching out to people for prosthetics.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, when I was in the hospital, I was in there for a month and I got to talking to the nurses and everybody else I've talked to was like, you know, you can do so much with a prosthetic leg. And I'm like, well, I'd like, you know, they were all like, go back into wrestling. So I was like, you know what? I like that idea. So I called.
So somebody actually told you while you were in the hospital that you could go
all
back
the nurses.
into wrestling.
My sister was a nurse there too. So all the nurses were saying, you know, all their kids wrote letters to me. Your wrestling name should be Payne. Your wrestling name, just a cool. I wish I had all that stuff. I don't know where it went. Moving down here to Florida from Boston, I don't know what I did with them letters, but I wish I had those.
Is that accent that I'm picking up?
No, it's Tennessee.
Boston.
I'm from Alabama.
Boston. No, I don't. I was trying to pick that up.
Yeah. So like, you know, when I come out of the hospital and then you start reaching out to people for prosthetics, I called literally, I would say 35 different prosthetic companies, 40 different prosthetic companies. And I went to go see a few of them. And then as soon as you tell me you want to wrestle and I don't have insurance, I forgot about that. I didn't have insurance. They looked at me like I was, you know, who the hell is this guy think he is coming in here and wanting a leg and having no insurance? Hell no. So the last guy that I went to go see, this company in Barica, and the guy says, listen, they're not going to do anything here, but he gave me this guy's name, Peter Kucha, from Next Step O&P, and it was in Merrimack, New Hampshire at the time. And the guy, I called there, and I'm like, hey, listen, this is what I got going on. The owner, Peter, literally got on the phone with me, says, where you at now? I said, Barica. So we'll get your ass down here. Literally, it took me 35 minutes to get to New Hampshire from where I was. I went there. He fitted me with a prosthetic. I walked the next week. I golfed 18 holes the day I got a prosthetic leg. But the best part of that story is I didn't walk for 3 weeks after because it blew up so bad.
I was just going to say, how? Now, wait a minute. You know, because as someone, thank God, who has both of her legs, and I'm sure a lot of my listeners feel the same way. How? I want to. I'm still going to take you back, okay? Because people that know me, I try to always bring stories that are inspiring and. But they can't be inspiring if people can't relate to you when you've experienced some low times. Now that's why I was trying to get you back to the hospital. Did you hit a time where you thought where you were just so low? As I'm sure there are people out there that are fighting different diseases and fighting cancers and maybe lost a leg or or worse, and they're at this low point. Did you have that?
I can't say I did.
Really?
If I told you I did, I'd be lying.
Okay.
I never, ever, ever had a low point when I was in the hospital now. Okay. When we get down the road, when I got hired by WWE and fired by WWE for the wrong one-legged wrestler, then that's when.
Okay. We'll come back.
Well, that's when everything was like. That's when I went real negative towards life and everything else. So.
All right, let's talk about that.
Well, I get a call. Anyways, I go see Peter Kucha from Next Step. And he tells me, he goes, what do you want to do? I said, well, I want to wrestle, man. It's just what I want to do. He's like, all right, no problem. Fits me. I go golfing, blah, blah. He goes, I knew you'd be that jerk that just got up and did what he wants to do. And I'm like, yeah. So I trained at Killer Kowalski's for like 6 to 8 months more. Wasn't going nowhere good, small school, whatever. So I go to Florida at Steve Kern's Florida Championship Wrestling. So I go over here where now it's the developmental school for the WWE. So I go down here. I train for a year. Johnny Laurinaitis, Jerry Briscoe call, and they say, hey, I heard you got a one-legged kid at your camp. And Steve goes, yeah, he's big. I was like 295 back then. I was real jacked up. Yeah, I was a big boy. So they come down, watch me do a little match with this kid, Steve Madison. So they watch the match, and Johnny Laurinaitis goes, that kid doesn't have one leg. So I end up having to take my leg off and showing him I had one leg.
No kidding.
Yeah, so I show him I have one leg. They call back, and they're like, we're down at the Sundome, Florida Sundome. And we want this kid to come down here and show his talent, see what he's got. You know what I mean? It was like a dark match, they call them. So I go down there. I end up wrestling like 3 different people. They call me literally a day after the thing. Steve Kern told me, he's like, hey, listen, they're probably not going to call you for a week or 2 or 3 weeks or a month. You know what I mean? They don't ever call people right back. So Johnny calls me and says, hey, brother, how would you like to work for WWE? We'll give you a 3-year deal. I'm like, yeah, I love it, man. What's up? So a 3-year deal, I think it was like $75,000 a year and on the bottom end. And then when you're on TV, you get paid more. So it was like, and then I had to deal with a prosthetic company for almost $500,000 a year just to wear their leg. So I lost millions of dollars through this deal. And then I get a call literally like 4 days later, I think it was, Johnny calls me after I signed the contract, sent the contract back to WWE. And this is the first time I told this story on air. They asked me, and I've never told anybody the story.
Good.
Because it bothers me that much still that they did this to me. So long story short, they call me and tell me they hired the wrong one-legged wrestler.
Oh,
I went through depression that nobody knew about. I went through, that's when it hit me like, you know what? I busted my butt for this many years. And I mean, it still hurts me so much that somebody with, you know what I mean? That I move just as good as everybody else does on TV.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the stuff I get to see. And it's just like how you just take, you know, not only did I lose my leg in a horrific accident, I come back and made something and got hired by, I signed a contract with WWE. They just, and Johnny said, no matter what, and by next year, we'll have you back in, you know, we're going to hire you within the next year. So anyways, never happened, never called them. And, you know, I went through that depression stage and I just turned to the bottle and it was the most evil thing in my life. You know?
started drinking a lot?
I drank $30,000 a month at Chili's when I was making good money. I seen the receipts one time and I almost puked. And it's just stupid. And, you know, that's another thing that, you know, I got a lot to be thankful for. You know, my girlfriend now, I mean, God bless. I've been with her for 4 years and she's been with me, you know. I've been
Through thick and thin.
Oh God, I don't know how she does it sometimes, but
so you tried to bury your pain and your
drinking.
and your depression.
Yeah, got 2 DUIs
How long?
down here.
Oh wow.
And just didn't care. I didn't care. I didn't care if I went to jail. I didn't care if I died. I didn't care about anything. I was like, you know, I don't know.
Did you ever ask why me?
That's the only time I ever said, you know, I lost faith. I was like, I don't believe in God. Who is he to do this shit to me? You know, I thought I was like better than everybody at the time. I didn't think I was better than anybody, but I was just like, you know, I got one leg and I'm doing this, you know, and then you just go through all that stuff and it's the most horrible feeling. If like, I'm sure people have been through worse than that. I mean, if that's the worst thing that happened to me, I know I got a contract and, you know, I got fired.
Yeah.
You know,
but you, sometimes it's been my experience as I listen to people over the years that a lot of times people have to be broken in some way. Maybe it's pride or maybe it's something else, but it's something within them. And usually after the break is really when we're able to really be shaped and molded and created and given that epiphany, that aha moment.
Yeah.
Did you have that?
Oh my God. Yeah, totally.
How did that come about when you were drinking?
Well, I don't know. It was like, I was hanging around people like the negative side of everything. And you know what I mean? Life sucks. This sucks. Wrestling career is horrible. Money's, you know, I'm losing this. I don't have this. I don't do this. And it's just like, you can only listen to that for so long before you start believing in yourself that you're falling into that.
Yep.
You know, somebody keeps telling you, it's like beating a dead horse.
Yep.
You know what I mean? What are you beating a dead horse for? The horse ain't going nowhere fast, you know? So when you put yourself in that situation, I mean, I was there for years.
Yeah.
I was there for years.
How many?
I look back now for probably like 5 years.
Dang.
And you just look at it now, it's like, oh my God, I could have been doing what I do now 5 years ago instead of being a jerk, you know, just like a waste of life, you know, when you see these people addicted to stuff.
But it's never a waste of life. I don't think it's ever a waste of life. I think when you get broken and you're down there, that is when you come back up, when you rise back up.
That's the best part of my story.
That's when you're strongest.
You're 100%. That's the part of the story that's the best is when I do what I do now, to see what I get to see daily. I can't wait for our listeners to hear. Yeah, it's just, you know, and once again, you know, I owe it to God, be honest with you, because I started going back to church. It's been a little over 3 years now, and my life has been changed dramatically. I mean, people say I'm doing God's work. I believe I'm doing, I mean, I believe I'm going the right direction, but I have so much more to do, and I believe I believe I can do a lot more, you know, as soon as my foundation, I mean, it's growing daily. I mean, we have so many great sponsors getting involved now, you know, I mean, people are just, you know, because we're talking about
50legs.org. If you haven't checked out his website, I'm going to encourage you to do that. Write it down. Don't miss the interview here, but write down 50legs.org and we'll come back to that in a minute. But Steve, after you had your epiphany and you had this moment of clarity, and is that you said you found God and you started going back to church. Did something happen in that time that what brought you to this place where you started thinking of other kids or other people that you could help? What brought you there?
I was going to do the Olympics, the Paralympics. So I was starting to throw the shot put. So I ended up winning a gold medal. And yeah, it was amazing. So it was fun. It was me.
I was hoping you were going to bring that up. Yeah. Otherwise, I was going to have to poke you with it.
Me and Jimmy Hart ended up going up to Orlando doing this thing. And
super nice guy.
Best guy, one of my best friends in the world. He helps my charity out daily. He doesn't, he does all my stuff for free, which is he's 67 years old and he acts like he's 20.
No kidding.
He doesn't have a stop button on his body. It's amazing. The guy's phenomenal. So we went up, did that. And it was unbelievable that I won a gold medal and there was people with 2 legs that I was going against.
No kidding.
Yes, but it was. But that's not the best part of it. Getting the gold medal was great, but then we're sitting there talking, me and Jimmy, and it's like, you know what? Jimmy's like, well, I mean, you just signed your own ticket now. I'm like, yeah, that's great. And then I'm thinking, we'll start talking. And like, you know what? All these little kids that are trying for the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 40 years old. I wasn't going to take away from some kid that's 17 or 18 years old that's trying to be in the Olympics. That's not me. You know what I mean? If it was other people my age, but when I found out it was kids from 18 or whatever, I mean, just whatever age they were up.
In the Special Olympics?
Paralympics. Special Olympics.
Oh.
That's different. The way I spell, I should be in the Special
Olympics. Tell me the difference. I didn't know that.
Special Olympics for retardation. Is that the word?
Okay.
And Paralympics.
Mentally challenged.
Yeah, mentally challenged. And the Paralympics is for people, amputees.
Okay. All right.
So, yeah. So I couldn't do it. I didn't do it. And that's why I didn't do it.
Really?
Yeah. I just think it would have been taken away from somebody else. That, these young kids, I'm 40, man. I don't need to.
That's very admirable, Steve.
No, I got to go medal. I'm good with it. No, it's not. It's just, why would I do it? I couldn't, I don't know. I feel weird about it still to this day, but if I would have did it and beat some kid that was 18 years old that, that was his one chance to go.
Yeah.
That would have killed me.
Wow.
That would have made me feel worse than winning,
So what happened then after you?
Under Armour calls.
Who?
Under Armour.
Okay.
My buddy Chip Langdon owns our Under Armour store in Greensboro, Georgia. So he tells me the story about this little girl, Anaya Rutger. She got hit by a truck. She got hit by. She was walking across the street with her little sister to get a school bus.
Do you have a picture of her when you show her?
I do not. I don't have it on here.
All right.
But I don't. It's on the other website.
That's okay.
So anyways, we were walking across. She was walking across with her sister to a bus stop, and a truck came barreling down the road. She took her sister and threw her sister out of the way. She got hit by the truck, and she lost her leg, broke her neck, lost a kidney.
Good Lord.
It was the most horrible story. She was on the Today Show. Anyways, they call me and say, this little girl wants to meet me. I'm like, meet me? Please. So anyways, me, Jimmy Hart, X-Pac, fly to Georgia. Got a call. We flew to Georgia. So we go meet her, raised a couple $1,000s for her that day, like $6 or $7 grand for her that day at the grand opening at the Under Armour store. Cut the ribbon with the mayor and everybody. CNN does the story. They pick it up. I get a call 2 weeks later from the Extreme Home Makeover.
Yeah.
They call me and they say, hey, we heard you got this little girl a leg. And I'm like, yeah. So long story short, we fly up there again and do Extreme Home Makeover. And for 8 days, they filmed us 15, 20 minutes a day, like 3 different times a day. And then, so when the story came out, when it aired, but when they were filming us, I broke down so bad. I cried so bad because I'm looking her in the eyes, and changing her life was when my life changed.
That's when you had the epiphany.
That's when I had the epiphany. Yeah. I was like, you know what? Holy moly, this is it. I'm sitting there crying to this whole crowd of people I don't even know, and they look at me, they're like, this big wrestler's going to be, hey, get off your feet and start walking.
Yeah.
But no, it wasn't even like that. So I see this little girl, precious little thing, been through hell.
No kidding.
I couldn't even imagine the pain she's been through,
Plus, she saved her sister's life.
Saved her sister's life. And when she was on the Today Show, they asked her why she saved her sister's life. She said because her sister was so small, she would have died if she got hit by the truck. Now, that's an unselfish act right there, if you've never heard of one. So anyways, so they filmed us all this time, and I didn't have my 501c3 for my charity yet, so they didn't air any of it. But I was on for
gosh.
And they told me all the guys, the guy on the you know the trailer come out there and he goes, "Hey, the producer wants to talk to you." I'm like, "Oh crap, what did I swear?" Being from Boston, you know, that might slip up now and then, you know. All my friends home won't listen to this, you know, they're laughing because I cuss like a truck driver now and then. So
No.
yeah, imagine that. It's funny because I cut it off on them. They're kids. Nobody, like my girlfriend's like, "What the hell's wrong with you?" And I'm like, and then I see these kids and I'm like, "Hi, how," you know, it's just it's so funny. So yeah, they aired it. They aired me just giving her legs for the rest of her life. But I mean, she's above the knee, and people that you know about that. I mean, she's got, you know, she'll have over $1 million worth of legs over a lifetime for free. So we got our house and we got our legs. So I mean, legs. So it was awesome. And then, you know,
That's when you knew that's what you wanted to do.
me and Jimmy looked at each other. He goes, "Brother, we got to start you got to start something." And I'm like, "Yeah, you know." And you know, I owe a lot of this to all. I got some great friends down here that, you know, that pushed me towards this. You know, my buddy Joe Gomez, you know, John Thompson, that helps me with my, as you know, he helps me with, you know, my daily agenda. If it wasn't for him, I'd be, oh my God, I drive him crazy. I text him, "Hey John, what do I got to do today?" You know, thank God for him and these phones. So he's like, "Hey, you got to be here this time." Like we had a meeting today with Harley Davidson. Jim's Harley Davidson's letting us auction a bike off for a raffle.
Let's talk a little bit about some of the, because most people, I know myself, when I think of a child needing, and you primarily focus just on children, correct?
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah. But just
So
because you see these, excuse me, but you see these kids. I mean, you know, one of the girls that I just helped, Kylie. I mean, you see these kids that have one leg every 3 years or every 4 years or every 5 years. Insurance companies don't want to pay out, and these kids are stuck with a walking leg. And this little girl lives in Florida. She can't go in the water. How are you going to tell a 7-year-old kid she can't go swimming? And the grandma, you know, she was going to Shriners Hospital over here in Tampa. Great hospital, but you know, prosthetics, they shouldn't be doing them. And I'm going to get out here, and when I do it, I'm going to make sure people know. I mean, there's prosthetic companies out here.
Tell our listeners why it's so tough and why you started this organization, because you would think that just if you got insurance and there are certain hospitals or certain companies or doctors that make prosthetic legs, why is it such a challenge?
You know
why did you start this?
I started this because I know what it's like not to have insurance. I called 35 different places, like I said, and I found one person, you know, that
was willing to take a chance.
Yeah, that believes in helping people that, you know, are less fortunate, that don't have insurance, you know. And there's so many millions of people without insurance now, please. And it's only getting worse.
Right.
It's only getting worse. So you know, and then ironically, I found a company down here in Orlando, from a girl that I got a leg for in West Palm Beach. She called this girl Zoe Gibbs, the one that I love that. Oh my God, she's the best. So
I don't know if we have a picture of her, but
I don't
I'm going to start bringing some pictures in, so that our listeners and viewers can take a look while you're talking. So go ahead and continue your story.
So I got this little girl in West Palm.
Little girl right
West
here?
Palm Beach. That's a little boy. That's the kid that got ran over by a truck in Colorado. Dragged 75 feet. He lost his leg. It was horrible, bro. I mean, that's that pitch right there just breaks my heart. And you know, they just amputated his leg above the knee and above his foot, and they put his foot where his knee is.
What?
I didn't put that picture up there because I just think it's too graphic. I mean, it's the family. I actually just flew the grandmother out to Colorado to spend time with her family. She just texted me earlier. She's like, "Thank you so much. You know, I couldn't have spent this time with my nephew, my grandchildren."
Oh.
Yeah. So she lives in Massachusetts and they live in Colorado, which is sad because they moved to Colorado for a better life and country living.
And that's what happened.
And, you know, they were up there for a little bit and this poor kid got hit by a truck. And, the mother, we got to tell the story real quick if you don't mind. The mother,
no, not at all.
Here's what happened, Gloria. This is so sad. So the mother calls their friend and says, "Hey, can you send your friend, send my son home? His name's Riley. Can you send Riley home?" They're like, "Yeah." He lives 2 blocks down. He's on one of those little Razor scooters.
Yeah.
So she's like, "Yeah, I'll send him over." So, you know, 10 minutes goes by, I guess. And the mother hears ambulances and fire trucks. And she's like, "Oh, damn, Riley, you know, he went down there and seen what was going on. You know, being a kid knows, you know, you're thinking, you know, nothing, you know." She goes down there, sees her kids wrapped up, sees this kid wrapped up in the front of the truck.
Oh,
The
my Lord.
the guy didn't even realize he hit the poor kid. And he still denies it. How do you deny running a kid over? And it took him 2 hours to get him out of there with the jaws of life, with the Razor scooter that saved his life. You know, how do you, I didn't hit him. How didn't you hit him? We just jumped up there, you know? So that's a big case right now going on. But you know, we're flying this kid down to Orlando also. He's, you know, yeah, so that's just, that picture just breaks my heart.
I know,
yeah,
I can
just
tell
want
you
to cry.
Okay.
I'm such a big baby as everybody does.
No.
So anyways, the other story about Gloria, no. The other story about Zoe Gibbs. So the girl in West Palm Beach I get a leg for, Zoe's mom calls me and says, hey, you helping out with, you know, people in need of prosthetics? I'm like, yeah. She goes, well, her story is amazing also. She got hit she was on a jet ski, and she got hit and lost a leg on the jet ski.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Zoe's on your Facebook page too, isn't she?
Zoe Gibbs. Yeah, she's the one I did Channel 9, Bay News 9. They made me Hero of the Week for getting her leg, and I didn't deserve that. She deserves the Hero of the Year. For that girl's been through, boy. She just had another operation.
But she plays sports?
Ah, yeah, she plays varsity volleyball. She's a stud. She's awesome.
Who are we looking at here?
This little girl right here, Kylie, she was going to the Shriners Hospital, and that girl was the one that was fighting for a year or something like that. The mother was fighting with Shriners to get a prosthetic that she can go in the ocean with. I met her at Tom Free's handicap. He does this fishing on the pier for handicapped people. And Tom Free is oh my God, he's just the greatest guy in the world. He donated a lot of money to my charity. He's just a blessing for me. And
people can donate by going to your
50legs.org. Yeah,
50 legs.
You can donate $10, $5, anything.
Let's talk a little bit about the price of buying a leg, because a lot of people think, oh my gosh, I don't have thousands of dollars to give, and it's Christmas time, and $10 truly does make a big difference.
Oh my God, yeah. You just think if I get 1,000 people to donate $10, you know what I mean? That's a couple legs for kids, man, and nothing's too small. I mean, I've had people walk up to me on the side of the road and give me $5, and I take that money. I got this little thing in my truck that I put the money on, and I put it to my charity. You know, I will put it right in there. You know, all the money we raise right now goes all to the kids.
Yeah, and that's really important that our listeners know that, because there are a lot of organizations out there, well known. He thinks I can see that. I can't. I
can see it. Yeah, that lady's great. I love her.
Okay.
Jules from Real Dream Makers. She's this lady, she came up to Orlando with us, and she videoed, actually. The Real Dream Makers is they're doing a story with me now.
Okay. Well, she's on the phone.
You want to
take a call from her?
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, please.
Okay. Hey, Jewel, you're on the air. We're talking with Gloria.
Hey, Steve.
What's up?
What's up, my handsome boy?
How are you, beautiful? How's everything going?
Doing great. I got back to my office, and I saw on Facebook that you were on the show tonight, and I wanted to call and support you.
Thank you so much. You guys have been a blessing. Hey, tell these guys, you've been there, so you know what really goes on at Stan's Patterson's. How great is that facility? That
was phenomenal. I was absolutely overwhelmed the day that we were there filming to get, Kylie fitted with her new leg, or her new 2 legs, actually. Yes. And Kylie's going to be a part of the show, and we just can't wait to, resume the filming. But what an organization over there.
It's unbelievable.
Giving, loving. Oh. It was unbelievable what they are doing for actually all the people there, and the kids especially. But what an organization, huh? Yeah,
it's awesome. And I thank you guys, Real Dream Makers, and the Trade Winds Resort for, taking a liking to my charity. I think that's, I think once that airs, I think we have a leg to stand on, no pun intended, meaning.
Oh my gosh.
But, I love that, though.
But you know what I'm saying, though? I mean, right. when people see what we really do, I mean, I could talk about this till I'm blue in the face, but, I can put pictures on Facebook and all this stuff, but if you don't see what we do on a daily basis, like what kids and how we change these lives, you don't know. And once you see it, it's amazing. I mean, it is so amazing.
And it becomes real. Again, pun intended. Where the real is in fishing.
Yep.
Because I don't know if the listeners know exactly what we're talking about, but the TV show takes a celebrity like Steve and their charity, and we pair them up, which It's kind of like a real makeover for people, but we give them a vacation of a lifetime.
Wow.
And
awesome.
The Tradewind Resorts is our biggest supporter and or sponsor. We take them out there for a wonderful vacation, take them fishing. So Steve will be going fishing with this wonderful family. We put them out there and then do a wonderful reveal, surprise them. Quite frankly, it gives people sometimes an experience of a lifetime that they otherwise, given their circumstances, might never be able to do.
Yeah, I don't even know if you know this, but I talked to the guys from the Tradewinds, and they want to put up all the kids that we've helped in Florida.
I knew we were talking about it, so that's something, huh?
Yeah, Travis is unbelievable, I have to say.
I have to tell you, each show, I don't know if you've gotten a chance to catch it, but it's on Fox Sports, Sun Sports, every Sunday at 7 a.m. and Tuesday mornings at 9. And each show just continues to get better. And pairing with people with strengths like Steve I can't wait.
I know, I'm
to
excited.
do our show and finish it, right?
I can't wait. Yes, ma'am. All right, we got another call. We got Stan Patterson on the other line.
Yeah,
so
we're going to get him on the line. Thank you so much.
I love
for
you
calling.
so much. Thank you for everything.
Talk to you later, Steve.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You
Now-
bet. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.
She is so cool. Jules, oh my God. She came up there and videoed those guys, and her and the video guy were just top-notch people where, I mean, they get to see it. They get to see what we do. So, I mean, like, they've been there. Like, they get to see what we do. And she was like, she left there in tears, and she was, she was so, I mean, I can't even tell you how cool it was. I mean,
Steve, tell me about, we're gonna be
called Stan.
Yeah, we're getting Dr. Stan on the line. And while he's doing that, tell our listeners, a little bit about Stan. How you met him.
This is that's what I was getting at before. Yeah. When I sat with Zoe Gibbs calls, and so I go meet them up in Orlando. Mm-hmm. So we go to Orlando, and I get to meet him. And, Stan's up there, and, Stan's like, I like what you're doing. The first second we met, it was chemistry. It was like that love relationship. Yep. You know what I mean? Love at first sight.
You just knew it.
You just good vibe. You get a good vibe with good people, And so when I met Stan looked at me and it's like, I like what you're doing, anything we can do, let's do it together. And I'm like, you know what? How about I want to buy these kids legs. Any kid that needs money for legs, I'll pay for them. He was like, wow. He looked at me like, yeah, okay, whatever, dude. And then, so what's what we do. I mean, we flew somebody in from Ohio that went to Hanger Prosthetics, which
so he makes the legs. There's different feet. There's different. I was asking you to explain that to me.
Stan will be on the phone. You can ask that man everything.
I believe
he's the brains of the operation.
I believe we got him on the line right now. Dr. Stan, are you on the line?
It's just Stan Patterson. Yes, I am.
Hi, Stan Patterson.
Stan, how are you, sir?
Gloria. Okay.
So Stan, I was explaining to them how we met, and I was just like, it was like a love relationship, love at first sight, where you believe in what I do, and after seeing the way you run your facility and the way that place is, it is just probably the most top-notch facility, I would say, in all the country. And people that we just flew in from, Rushfoot, seeing your facility, and they've been all over the country saying the same thing. And, I always tell people I can't talk enough about, POA just because of the fact of the kids that you're helping, and I'm doing such a little part of it. All I'm doing is, helping them finance the leg, pay for the leg, and Stan and his crew do all the work. I mean, everything. I mean, from
what a
fittings.
What a great team, though. You're helping to raise money.
It's awesome.
Through your organization, 50legs.org, and Stan Patterson is actually making the legs or the feet. Or now, what with a child? Both of you. This is a question for both of you. If as a child is growing, do they outgrow the leg as well? I mean, does that have to be? How often does that have to be changed for the average child?
Well, that really just is going to depend on the growth pattern of the individual and what age they are. And really, like Steve was alluding to, and we're blessed to have him in our lives. The things that with kids is A, they're going to tear up things a lot faster than adults because of the nature of what they do, and B, they're going to outgrow them a lot faster. And so with children want to do everything from playing different recreational sports to to, let's say, just rollerblading or skateboarding, just by the nature of being a kid, they're going to tear up a prosthesis much faster than someone that's our age. And so it's and sometimes insurance, well, most of the time insurance companies, they really don't understand this. We're asked today a kid that wanted to jump in the water, and he lives off a lake, and they go, well, we're not going to pay for any more knees for this year, which is only a few more weeks, of course, but due to he's already broken 2 knees this year. Well, he's just being a kid.
Right.
And he's trying to live his life, just like we were fortunate enough to live our lives without being an amputee. And that's what Steve's given a lot of kids back. He's given them a chance to
be kids,
to live their life, and to be kids. Absolutely.
Wow.
Some of the ones we spoil more than other ones, huh, Stan?
Oh yeah.
Well, Zoe's 16 years old now, so insurance company won't give her a leg where she can wear high heels. And it's only a couple thousand. I mean, it's ridiculous. So the poor thing wants to play volleyball, wants to be a girl,
wants to go to prom.
So you can't tell a 16-year-old girl she can't wear high heels. So she called Stan and those guys, and Stan, right away, don't say no, and the mother told me the story, and I'm like, well, we'll get her leg. I mean, it is what it is. We're gonna help out. If the girl wants to wear high heels at prom, she's gonna wear high heels at prom. I don't care what what it costs. She's gonna wear high heels.
Well, now how can our listeners? How can they help? What's the best way that if
50legs.org, and like my thing is, there's so many prosthetic companies. I know Stan's gonna not like this, but there's so many prosthetic companies out there that don't do the right thing. They're like a mill. It's like going to a factory where you're in, you're out. We don't care about you. Does the leg hurt a little bit? Get used to it. We don't want you there. You know what I mean? Where you go to POA and it's going to be, we just flew somebody in from, where's she? Colorado, Stan, right? She lives in Colorado now?
Right.
We flew her in from Colorado, and Stan made her stay an extra 4 days because her stump was shrinking at a real fast pace.
I was going to ask
So he wouldn't let her leave. He didn't let her leave, and they fit her up till the day she left. And Stan goes in on Sundays. His crew goes in on Sundays to help people that got to go to school the next day. I mean, it just...
Well, I was going to ask, because it just makes sense. It's kind of like with a woman who has a baby, and she loses weight, and she goes out and she buys some clothes 2 months after she's had the baby. 6 months after she's had the baby, she's smaller still. Is it the same way? I got to believe it's the same way with a person that loses a leg. I mean, there has to be this shrinkage, right, Stan?
Correct. And like Steve said, it's, every case is completely different, but, not only in that cost. And so I think that's why this marriage works so nice between Steve and myself with 50 legs, because a lot of times the prosthetic devices will cost, a great amount. A above-knee amputee can cost as much as $20,000 to $30,000. A below-the-knee prosthesis can cost anywhere between $7,000 to $15,000. And if we knock out the cost of that, we can take these prostheses and at least divide them in half, if not more. And so we can take care of so many more people that way. And that's what we're trying to do. It's not a money-making endeavor for either Steve or myself, but we're just trying to give someone a normal life. And we're blessed enough to do it. Steve's done a great job with that.
Yeah, well, Steve was telling me that you do a lot of this. Both of you, 100% of all of the money that is collected goes into your organization and into helping these kids. And that both of you have sacrificially given so much of your time, of your money, and things come right out of your pocket to help these kids. And that really is. You were talking earlier, Steve, about how you found God and how you found this. You had this epiphany, and that truly is. It's not so much about organized religion. It's about getting out there and helping our fellow man, and like the two of you are doing. And I just want to say, Stan, without even meeting you, I'm just so proud to even have you on the radio to share what you're doing to help these kids. I'm looking at some of the pictures, and I'm going to continue showing them to our listeners so that they can. We all identify more when we can see somebody and we can see what we're doing. And Steve can kind of share each one of these little stories. Let me drop another one in here, and you tell me who we're looking at here?
That's from West Palm. That's the West Palm Beach girl.
Okay.
That's how, I mean, thank God for her, because that's how me and Stan met. Ironically, how funny that is, but yeah.
How did she lose her leg?
She got ran over by her mom on a riding lawnmower.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Stan, as crazy as that sounds, that's like normal in Florida, isn't it?
It's a lot more common than what you would think. And that's the thing, is with your listeners, is it's no one ever expects to be an amputee. I can still ask people to this day that even work in this industry, and I go, what's your prosthetic policy? And no one has an idea, because no one ever expects to be an amputee until it happens to them. And then you know, a lot of times they're left alone to fight a battle, because insurance companies a lot of times do not cover prosthetic care, or if they do, they cover it at a fraction of the cost. And no one ever expects that to happen to them.
He goes to Stan's.
Okay.
Stan, they're showing the picture of the little kid that that had that flesh-eating disease that came to you guys.
Bacteria?
The bacteria.
Absolutely. He came from Venezuela, was just vacationing with his family, swimming in a swimming pool. Within 24
Crazy.
hours, started having flu-like symptoms, and within 24 hours, lost both of his arms and both of his legs to a flesh-eating bacteria that they don't know where he contracted it, in a swimming pool or you know, we see so much of that these days that you know, people are living normal lives, and all of a sudden they're missing all of their appendages.
Stan, how excited was he? Remember when he took his first steps? I was so blessed to be there that day.
Oh, absolutely. And he was here just last week, and he's already playing basketball. And
you have to see, you don't even understand. You're talking about a kid that's been in a wheelchair for 6 months, and Stan told him that when you're in the wheelchair, your body conforms to that wheelchair even after 6 months. When he stood up, he was leaning forward so bad. Stan kept telling him to lean back, lean back, lean back. And the kid was so amazing when he just got up. He just got up and went. It was, oh my God, being part of that stuff when you get to see people take their first steps is freaking awesome.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And that's the blessing of it all. You know, that's what Steve is talking about. You know, everybody says how much, you know, we help them. Actually, Steve, I think we are more fortunate than the patient, because we get so much in return seeing them.
Oh my God, yeah. Please.
Helping them do that.
Oh, you know that. And then not even that, to take it to the next step, Stan, being able to see people play volleyball. You know what I mean? Just the little things that we do. I mean, and we've just begun. I mean, we haven't even scratched the surface yet. You know, I got some big people stepping up, you know, that are going to be helping us so dramatically. What are we going to be? You know, 50 legs is nothing. We'll be doing thousands of legs, you know, and it's
you probably named that organization the wrong thing.
We definitely. Well, we didn't know. Getting into it, 50 sounded like a ton. Shit, we've already bought. I mean, it's crazy.
You know,
Stan's like, all right, enough, man. I do all this work for free. You pretend to be on business next year.
Stan, hang on for a second, because we have a caller named Beth that's on the line, and I'm not really quite sure she wants to talk to you or Steve. Beth, you're on the line with Talking with Gloria.
Hello, how are you?
Fantastic. Do you have a question for Steve or comment?
Well, I actually just wanted to tell you, you pretty much have the sweetest guy on the planet sitting next to you. I'm actually from his hometown.
Oh, Beth, what's up? How are you?
How are you?
I'm awesome. I called into her school last week. She's a school teacher. I know these guys. She knew me when I was the devil, so she could tell you some stories, I'm sure.
I have no bad stories.
Good girl.
No bad stories.
The check's in the mail.
You're so sweet. I just want to say, small world possible. One of my friends had posted a picture of the 50legs.org sticker, and I said, where the hell can I get one of those? And so I ended up reaching out to, you know, Steve's website, and a week later, honest to goodness, there's a boy in my class talking about Hulk Hogan calling his mother, and some guy from 50 Legs, whatever, he didn't even really know, 50 Legs, some guy from 50 Legs hooked up the whole phone call. Well, I started screaming in my classroom. I got Steve's number, and he literally called my classroom.
Oh, my God. You know, there are no coincidences.
No, it was fun.
I'm telling you, it's always a divine appointment.
Stan, that's the kid that will be flying down to your office. They did that. Can you explain? What is that operation when they reverse the foot, Stan? What is that called?
It's a Van Ness rotation myoplasty.
Okay.
And so they're just reversing the foot.
That's all.
Yeah, that's all. They just do all this crazy stuff. And so we're flying him down from Colorado. I think he's going to be able to do it. And in the next 2 months, I believe the grandmother texted me the other day.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we'll be having him down here for a while. And all I could say is POA is, I mean, people out there that, you know, your first prosthetic should be your best. And if you need a place to go, I encourage people, not just because Stan's a friend, but he's got the best facility in the country. I mean, all these other companies, they want your money, and you're like it's just a big machine making money. And Stan started his thing in a garage, and he's never turned anybody down that didn't have insurance. You try that at Hanger Prosthetics or any other big prosthetic company, and you're gonna walk in and walk right back out with maybe a foot in your ass or something, but. It's just, I mean, people got to realize there's so much better out there than, you know, find a good prosthetist and take my word for it. Take these kids that I'm helping out word for it. I mean, he's got the best facility in the country. I mean, I know I sound prejudiced towards it, but
no. I think that's exactly exactly, you know, maybe our listeners, I just want to approach them for a second. Maybe our listeners obviously are walking around on 2 legs, but they may know somebody.
Yeah, if you know anybody.
They may have a neighbor or a friend or maybe somebody across the country. You know somebody that needs a prosthetic leg. Maybe they don't have the financing.
Yep.
You need to get in touch with 50legs.org and get in touch with Steve. You can also Facebook him.
Yep.
You know, at
50 Legs, this 50legs.org or Steve Chamberlain.
Or Steve Chamberlain, either one. But, you know, make sure that you dig deep this holiday season. This is what Talking with Gloria and the whole month of December is all about. Charitable organizations. We're so busy spoiling our kids and giving them way too much, things that they don't need. Teach your kids how to give to other kids. This is something where you can show them pictures. You can go to Steve's website. You can go to his Facebook. You can look at pictures and you can show your kids these pictures. And you can say, okay, little Johnny, now we're going to go to this 50legs.org and drop in $10, $20, whatever you can. But show them that giving is really what the whole season is about. I mean, it shouldn't be just for December, but we're using December for these organizations. We only have a few more minutes here before we have to wrap it up. But,
yeah, hey, Stan, I just wanted to say, let's talk about Stan. I love talking. He's the best. That's all I can say is, hey, it's
how do our listeners know where Stan is located?
Orlando, POA. Stan, what's your website?
It's POACFL.com. So Prosthetic Orthotic Associate, CentralFlorida.com.
Okay, and Steve, why don't you make sure that you post that on your Facebook?
I will.
And I will post it on my Facebook so that we can make sure that everybody knows how to get in touch with.
And not only, you know, people, if people have legs sitting in their closets, you know what I mean? We could use all these legs because eventually, when we get big enough, we want to recycle these legs. Where
I was just going to say, you can recycle
that's well, you know, Stan's one of the few people that are, you know, they're not about making all this money off insurance companies. Stan's one of the few that'll recycle a leg and give it to a kid or an older lady or somebody that needs a leg that we don't need. He can refurbish it, make it brand new, and put people in these legs. Like, I brought a couple up there. I think the ones I brought up were ancient, though.
Wow, that's amazing. Who are we looking at here? Oh, well.
That was a girl that right here. This girl here we met. She's at Stan's office, and
look at that.
Yeah, she's awesome. I think this girl's she's the girl that went to college from Miami. Stan, the girl from college. Yeah, they got a picture. She sent a picture, and she was posing in it, leaning on a door for me.
I love it.
I don't know what the heck that was about, but she was she's
working it.
She's working it.
She's still got it. Oh, that's awesome.
She's a cutie. They're all such cute kids, man. And you get to meet these. She's only 21, going to college, and you know, that's Jeremy. That's my boy Jeremy. I love that kid. Yeah, that's at Tom Freeze for handicapped kids fishing on the pier.
Wow,
I'm blessed, and Stan, I'll see you tomorrow, buddy.
All right, I look forward to it. Thank you for having me.
All right,
Stan, thanks for joining us.
Hey, Beth.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm great. I wasn't sure if this was my moment I should hang up or I should just hang in there. But,
yeah. Hey, what about that girl from Boston? I'll hang up on her.
No. We would never hang up on you.
I just heard your accent when you said the word Tia. I'm like, he's still from Massachusetts.
Oh, God. Been down here so long. My brother thinks I'm a redneck now. He can't even understand me sometimes.
You're too funny. Well, you're a hero over here in our book, Steve.
Oh, thank you. I love you guys. Thank you so much.
He's a hero in everybody's book.
Oh.
I think so. We're waiting for him to come home. I want him to do a project with my students.
Yes,
So we'll do
you
some
just
sort
give me
of
the
service
dates. I
learning.
promise you I will be there. Just give me the dates so I can call John Thompson.
Yes, definitely.
All
We'd
right,
love
sweet.
to have you. I won't keep you. I'm sure many more people want to call, but I just want to say thank you again and
Thank
love
you,
you,
Beth.
and good luck with everything you got
Say
going
hello
on
to
over
your
the next
husband. Say
couple of
hello to
weeks.
everybody.
I will.
All right,
Thanks,
sweet. Love you.
Beth.
Thank you.
Take care.
Yeah, she grew up with my sister. It's so funny. She could have probably told some horror stories. Good job, Beth, for not throwing me under the bus.
Well, that was absolutely fantastic to hear all these different things that you guys are doing together. And this,
awesome.
I like the term that he used, the marriage that you two have.
Yeah, it's. I mean, you couldn't. When you script things, you can't script them like that. Like you can't like. That's why I believe that God works, in mysterious ways through me. Like, because all of a sudden I get a phone call. Let's go to Orlando. All right. Why am I driving an hour and a half away? To meet this girl and buy her leg. You know what I mean? You're thinking, you don't never think that. You're thinking like, what's going to happen? So we go out there and then meet Stan, and this whole, this marriage works. It's phenomenal. And Stan you just hear it. He's so humble. Don't call me doctor.
Don't I know? I was
Stan
like,
Patterson,
isn't
not doctor.
Isn't he a doctor?
No, they're just. I don't even know. I don't think they are.
Well, again, it's really about the Great Commission that you were talking about. Going out and showing love and doing the things that actually, if you're going to use the Bible, you said you found God, so you're doing exactly what Jesus said to do, and he says, when you've done it unto the least of these my brothers, you've done it unto me. So that's what you're doing. You're fulfilling that Great Commission, and that's exactly what we really like, the kind of programming that we do like to bring on Talking with Gloria. People that are doing something, changing lives, enlightening people, helping people. Now, what's your next project? What have you got going on next?
February 2nd, we're doing a motorcycle run. And actually this Saturday night at the Corner Bar off of East Bay Drive, the lady D that owns it, Lindell, I'm sorry. I got my rescue dog from her. She does rescue dogs. She's an amazing woman, and she owns a little pub, and she's giving 100% of the proceeds that night, 50 Legs. So you're talking probably $3,000 to $5,000 that she's giving. She's paying her help by herself with her own money. And I mean, bless her heart, Corner Bar and Grill, Saturday night from 7 to I don't even know whenever. If you just come down there and buy a burger, a soda, a beer, anything, and it 100% goes to the charity.
Yeah, and you can obviously meet Steve. What else is on your agenda? We got a couple more minutes, and
we have. I mean, just go on 50legs.org. You get to see what we're doing. It's. I mean, we have so much good stuff, and I just want to take time now. I mean, and thank you for putting us on. I'm very blessed. We get to meet you through Chip, and he's been a blessing to the charity.
Chip Barletto he's awesome. Yeah, he's got a heart of gold.
The biggest heart in the business. Anybody I've ever met is just the best guy. Except he's got to get his lazy butt out of bed on the morning. I text him every morning at 6 o'clock, and the son of a gun has an excuse. I got a headache. I don't feel well. Get the hell out of bed, son.
Oh boy, I'm not getting in on that.
Oh, just kidding. I love him to death.
No, he does. He sponsors. Thanks to him, Talking with Gloria is on the air, so he does. And he has a heart of gold.
He donates money every week to 50 Legs. So the man's he's a god in my eyes, and I'm blessed to be friends with him. We met him at the airport. How funny it was! Me and Jimmy were at the airport. He come up to us, and you know how Chip is.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, what's going on over here? You know what I mean? So we we meet him at Hogan's shop, and then I'm with him every day. He's I love the guy to death. Great guy.
There's very few people that I've met that is so giving like he is.
Ridiculous.
He just he doesn't think twice.
No, he don't eat.
And that's what we need. We need more people like that are willing to give, dig a little bit deeper in your pocket, people, and go to 50legs.org and make a contribution. Do something great for a kid this Christmas. Instead of doing something for yourself, just give it up a little bit for somebody else. Steve, I would love to have you back on the show again.
Definitely. And I want to say thanks to everybody, the listeners, and all my friends and family and everybody else that helps out and puts up with me. I know my poor girl, she was in the hospital for a long time this month, and I'm always on the go. So it's hard to be, she got chronic pancreatitis. So it's hard to be with her as much as you want to, but I'm so busy. It's just like, sometimes, her mother's been a blessing, and her sister and everybody to help out and reach out and help me out, with taking care of her. So I just want to thank my family and everybody else and love everybody.
You've got a lot of support around you,
I do.
and
I'm
you
blessed.
got you just keep giving and giving and giving,
Yeah,
and of
that's
course that's
awesome.
what the whole December month is about for us here at Talking with Gloria is how we can give. And now I want them to Facebook you,
Yep.
and I want.
I think you have if they go to your friends. If they're friends
Yep.
with you, they can find me through your friends.
Absolutely,
Okay, yeah,
right.
you can do that. Steve Chamberlain or 50legs.org.
Yeah, and if you're listening for the first time, make sure that you check me out and Facebook me. You can go to Talking with Gloria. If you're there right now, you can hit the Facebook button. And also, you can write to Steve if you've got any questions.
Mm-hmm.
You can also contact him through either one of the 50legs.org or through Facebook and get your questions answered, or you can contact him through me. We've got 1 minute left.
Steve, yeah, my email address is steve@50legs.org or john@50legs.org. If you want a return message, go to John. Go to John Thompson. He lives. No, just kidding. Boy, shoot me.
You've been awesome.
All
I am
right.
so glad that you were here.
High five, kid.
We're gonna have you back in a few
Awesome.
month, and you can fill us in and tell us what.
Hope we
you're
have
gonna be
millions
doing.
of dollars and we hit thousands of kids. Thanks, everybody.
That's what we want. That's what we want. Hey, thanks everybody. You've been listening to Gloria Ponziano with Steve Chamberlain in the house, and this is Talking with Gloria. And join me again next Tuesday, 1 o'clock, when we're going to have another surprise guest. So thanks for joining me, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a great night, everybody. Love you.
Let's just fall out of what there is, fall underneath the ground we're on. Shake the roots of all the trees till they come tumbling down. Let's both pretend we don't exist, ignore each other blatantly, act like nothing ever was. Just